folks, Rob Daniels here for the movie, TV, and video game soundtrack program Visions in Sound. I can be found every Saturday morning, 12 to 2 a.m. on FM 98.5, and if you miss a show, which, hey, does happen, you can also find me on my website, visionsinsound.ca. Well, hey, here we are on the continuing road on Visions in Sound's YouTube presence, and in this case, I have an interesting one for you, and like I said, I say that every week, but I do have an interesting one for you this week as well. Speaking of the 1971 film Zeppelin, yeah, I'm going right back to the early 70s for this one. This one came my way in a very unusual way, and let me explain. I knew nothing, or very little, of Roy Budd's career other than his work on Get Carter. And to hear that he's done a lot of other work, now he's a jazz musician, and is known for minimalist work. But in this case, it was oddly enough, it was the suggestion by my girlfriend Tamara to say, hey, I really love this theme from this 1971 film called Zeppelin. And I've only ever heard it. I don't know if a soundtrack was ever released. So she points me to this this place online, or this on YouTube, and I listen to it, and it's a really good opening main theme, which up to that point had kind of been the only thing it was released on. There was a small release, but like 2 tracks were on it. In any case, so literally a week after she told me this, suddenly Caldera Records, I think it's pronounced Caldera, it could be Caldera, whatever, Records releases the full score to Zeppelin. And I'm like, wow, talk about timing. Yeah, so I picked up the score, fantastic. Roy Budd's music is amazing. And I would have to say that Zeppelin strikes me as the kind of film that I would watch. It might show up on like a Saturday afternoon matinee kind of thing, where it's kind of like, it's a slow burn thriller, I would say, with Michael York as the lead. And I like Michael York. I've liked him ever since I first saw him in Logan's Run. The film is this slow burn drama about a fictional mission during World War I, which I think is great. There should be more World War I films that get score releases anyway. In this case, like I said, Roy Budd's music is amazing, and what I'm going to do is simply say, hang on, listen to this opening, and I'll be back and we'll talk more about Zeppelin right after this. you see what I mean? Fantastic opening track, very catchy, amazing. And you know what I love about this film? It opens in a very British way. And when I say that, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I find that most British films are kind of most British films have this unspoken style to it. And what I mean is that the film starts and there's very little dialogue, and it's visual storytelling.
Anytime, Molly.
And it's not until, well, I keep thinking of the perfect example of Mr. Holmes. If you haven't seen that film, check it out. It's pretty good. It tells the story. It gives you an idea in the first few minutes, first of all, where we're set, when it is, and to me, it's really cool. Now, and also watching this, I mean, it is 1971, so we are definitely pre-CGI here. But the effects are actually pretty decent. You look at this, and there are moments when you kind of catch the jankiness. But for the most part, there are some really cool miniatures in this. At least I think they're miniatures, because they sure as heck look like it. In any case, the film is, like I said, this slow burn thriller, and it really, unfortunately for those that might watch it today, it might be like, oh, this is boring right until the end. But you know what? I thought it was great. There are some really interesting moments on it. I won't ruin it for those that haven't seen it. And Michael York, I think, is really good in this movie. He carries himself off as this kind of reluctant spy kind of character. And I don't know, I think he carries it off rather well. If not, check out the film. It is actually available on YouTube if you're looking for it, though it is decently priced on DVD as well. So I'm going to play some more music from the film Zeppelin, and Roy Budd's score, amazing, and we'll come back and we'll talk some more. There's Roy Budd's score to the 1971 film Zeppelin. Yeah, something a little bit further back. I mean, I was only a year old in '71, so I didn't know about this film. The thing about Zeppelin, and I want to throw this in, is that I knew nothing about this film until Tamara told me about the opening, and then I became intrigued with the film and wanted to see it. We actually watched it less than a week ago. So, the first time I've ever seen the film, and like I said, I was impressed. I was impressed with the quality of the film, and I was impressed with the music. So yeah, check out Roy Budd's score to Zeppelin on the Caldera, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Caldera label. And I don't think you'll be disappointed, because like I said, I think it's a minimalist kind of interesting score. To say this film is fun, no, it's not. It's not that kind of thing. It's kind of like maybe like watching Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy or something like that. It has that kind of feeling to it. In any case, if you are oh, by the way, Galadriel was here. She kind of scooted her way this way and has kind of taken leave. I'm not sure where she is, but if she was here, she would say to you, like, share, and subscribe. I won't use the joke that I used before. And if you are interested in any of the film, television, or video game music that I do play, by all means, listen to the show every week, 12 to 2 a.m. on FM 98.5. And you can also find me on, if you miss the show, which like I said does happen, you can catch me on my website, visionsinsound.ca. I can also be found on, I can also be found on GoodPods, a downloadable app for your phone or other type devices. But I can also be found on Blue Sky these days at visionsinsound.bsky.social. Like I said, I mentioned GoodPods, but you can also find me on many of the other podcatchers out there, including the likes of Apple Music. Folks, we're in a really strange place in the world right now. Movies and music and video games and whatever are good escapes. But if you're having problems, please call 911 for immediate help. You can also dial or text, at least in Canada anyway, 988 for the Suicide Crisis Helpline. You can try 1-844-HERE247 and HERE247.ca. They all offer ways of getting help if you or someone you know may be suffering from mental health issues. Well, folks, another great score. Get out there and listen to scores that are maybe outside of the norm, because there are composers out there that are worthy of your time, like Roy Budd. In any case, have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
This has just been invented by Captain Brock. Calls it an incendiary bullet. These will bring down the Zeppelin. Still a little unstable at this moment, sir, but Captain Brock is quite confident of perfecting his device in 3 months.
We can't wait 3 months for this aeroplane that will hopefully fly high enough to hopefully fire these bullets that hopefully will shoot any Zeppelin out of the sky.
Better not strike it too hard, Prime Minister. It is slightly unstable.
Tomorrow.